Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage.
This area of Jayapataka, someone can read it. So I'll try to speak slow and emphasize, because half my face is paralyzed, otherwise they are saying that they couldn't understand all the things. Are you able to understand if I speak like this? Yes. Okay. So this verse tells us, whatever we think of at the time of death, that is what will we be taken to. If we think of Krishna, where we go? If we think of a deer, where we go? There was some rich lady in America. She left all her $140 million to her cat. This became the richest cat in the world. And she had lawyers who would manage on her behalf. But as long as the cat was alive, that she would enjoy all kinds of facilities, and then when she would die, money would be distributed among certain charities. So what did this lady, what possibility was there to achieve in her next life? You see, so she might have thought of her cat, and she left all her money to her cat. So like this, in the fourth canto of the Śrīla Prabhupāda, King of Ranjana, he thought of his queen at the time of death. So next alive, he became a woman. He took birth as a woman and he became the queen of Malaya. Malaya sounds like Malaysia. So, like this, sometimes you might have to be at a man's birth now, but the previous birth was a lady's birth. Or maybe a lady's birth, and you may be previously a man. So like this, according to whatever you thought of in the previous life, you took that kind of a birth. So, that's why I recommend to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And this way, at the time of death, you think of Krishna. And like a lady, she was from a good family, but her husband suddenly developed asthma, and she died. He died. So she was like 35. She was a young widow, and she still had lots of material desires. So she would seek some boyfriends. Her father-in-law said, look, I got unmarried daughters in my family, and if you act like this, then it'll be hard to marry the daughters, because people will think my daughters are also like that. I don't mind if you stay with us, but if you stay with us, you have to follow a strict lifestyle. Otherwise, better you live separate. So she got a house on the outskirts of the town, and she was living separate. Sometimes she would see some men. So she was basically only a simple act. So somehow somebody gave her a prayer. This prayer chanting, Rama, 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 Rama. She would chant with the prayer, Rama, 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 Rama. And the prayer would reply, Rama, 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 Rama. She would say, Rama, 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 Rama. And the prayer would reply like this. You go back and forth, chanting Rama's holy name. Rama, 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 Rama. So all day long, chanting Rama, Rama, Rama. She got attached to chanting the name of Rama. So she actually developed a taste for chanting. She was a little more advanced in Bhakti Yoga than Ajahn. Ajahn, he called his son, Hey Narayana. Hey Narayana. Hey Narayana. Hey Narayana. How can I say it like that? Hey Narayana. Hey Narayana. Hey, give food with me. Hey Narayana. Let's go for a walk. So accidentally he was chanting the name of Narayana. Jai Jayapatākā, Swada, Gopinara, Vishnu Jai. But that was just his son's name. He had not developed a taste of chanting. Or this lady, she developed a taste of chanting Rama, 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 Rama. You have to chant as a parrot chants. Rama, 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 Rama. Rama, 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 Rama. So, in this way, she would spend all her days chanting Rama, 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 Rama. And one day, lightning hit the house. He killed her and her. Killed her and killed also the parrot at the same time. So, if physically can go down to the devotees, then they want to write some question. So, he was a patient to Jana, and this is the parrot of sending lady. she chanted this is 6 7 10, but she was a little pretty because she chanted Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
So she was allowed to go back to Ghana. So this chanting of the holy name, of course, she wasn't sitting on the stage and chanting. She didn't know that she didn't think about her sins. She was chanting with her hair, and she had developed a taste for chanting. She chanted the whole day, Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
So this way, she was eligible to go back to Ghana. So we want the devotees to consciously chant Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Guys, morning time, morning time. They brought this chanting of Kali Yuga, Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra, all of us. So in the Chaitanya Bhagavad, Lord Caitanya said to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
He said to always chant, and in this way one will achieve all the perfection of life. So we hope that we will chant. How many of you are regularly chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa? Very good. So, if we always chant, the likelihood is that at the time of death, you will also chant Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna.
But according to one's attachment, they may be thinking of some other cats, or dogs, or whatever, and that will lead them to that kind of work. So it's important that we practice regularly chanting and hearing the name of Krishna. And in this way, it will be easy for us to go back to Krishna. If one thinks, I don't need to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa because I'll just chant at the time of death. So I should at least all the time chanting 16 rounds a day, every day chanting. I'll just at the time of death, I'll chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, I'll go back to God. Right? Simple. But it's not so easy. At that moment, you'll think of something else. You won't think of it because you are not habituated to thinking about Krishna. So that's why we recommended that we should always chant the name of Krishna. Now also Krishna, he promises to help his devotees. So even like there was one lady, she was walking across the street carrying a pile of Bhagavatams. She didn't look, she should have looked, but she didn't look. Bang! She hit that car. She was instantly dead. So, Prabhupada said because she was carrying the Bhagavatam, she went back to God. She said, we don't want the devotees to be like that. They should look before they cross the street. Anyway, because she was carrying the log with her, she was helped by Krishna. Like that, you'll be helped by Krishna also. Even if you're not, at that moment, you're not thinking about Krishna, he will somehow help you. It says that around the temple of Hare is where Lord Śrīla was meditating at it. He was, you can say, he was defeated by many countries. He was feeling like that, so he was meditating. So this came and showed him that you are not different from me. You should feel sad because after all, you're not different. So if I defeat you, it's the same as you feeding yourself. So then he combined with Śrīla, and we have half Śrīla and half Vishnu, Hare Kṛṣṇa. So it says that those who live around that temple, that the Lord, he comes at the time of death and he chants in their ear, Gauranga! 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 He helps the devotees in that area, chanting the name of Gauranga. In different ways, the Lord helps the devotees. How many would you like the help of the Lord? Okay. So nothing to worry about. He will help me. Of course, far among us, he was very advanced in devotional service. He came up to the level of Kuala. Kuala is ecstatic love for Krishna. He was chanting and he was crying for Krishna. Somehow, he developed a strong attachment for deer. So much so that he was thinking about the deer. Who is going to take the deer, care the deer or not deer? And he was always thinking about the deer. Deers are all over the place. You don't have to worry about them. Somehow they fend for themselves. But he was thinking about the deer. So at the time of death, he became a deer. But the Lord helped him. He was a deer who was living his previous life. So then he was thinking, what a stupid mistake. Here I was to enter the world. I gave up everything in order to be Krishna conscious. And I got attached to a deer. And so at the time of death, instead of thinking about Krishna, I was thinking about the deer. So, right after that, he became Jayapatākā. So he could talk to anybody, he did not develop attachment to anyone. But in the end, King Caitanya discovered him. And after that, made him the Raj Guru and broadcasted his fame far and wide. So he was, at first he was very careful not to not to develop this time. He wasn't going to make any mistakes. Like he didn't want to become a deer again. So it's interesting that he was captured by a band of dacoits, and he was going to be offered as a non-bali, as a human sacrifice to Jayapatākā. But Jayapatākā came alive, and she killed all the dacoits. Actually, our Russian drama troupe for this part, they performed this drama called Jayapatākā dancing and Jayapatākā killing the dacoits. It was quite horrifying, actually, but this is how the devotee gets protected by the Lord. So these are in one verse. They asked what verse to read. I said, if you're having a regular Bhagavad Gita class, read the next verse. He didn't know if there was a class or not, so he picked up this one. I don't know if you have a regular class here. In the evening, if you do, then you can start just continuing that verse, whatever the verse is. The chapter is this.
8 chapter, 8 verse.
8,
6.
18 chapter.
8 chapter 6. Chapter 8, text 6.
Yes.
Chapter 8, text 6. Verse.
So there's no other chapter you want to read. 6, 7, okay. Wow. Is this please fan on low?
Your fan is on low.
So we have some questions. Go around and do the question.
How does the sins committed by a disciple affect the spiritual master?
Swami, go around and do the question. I heard your question. How does the sin committed by the disciple affect the spiritual life? Is it correct?
Yes.
If you're not reading like it, you know that. You need your headline if you're not reading the content. Idea. Some problem with my reading. I can see everyone on this. I still want someone to go around. Are there other questions? It's people who give me out the sheets. You know the sheets? Someone, are you remember?
Yes.
Okay. I was serving Śrīla Prabhupāda in 1977 off and on. I would be half the time in Mayapur and half the time I go to Kuala, and I'd be serving Śrīla Prabhupāda. After Śrīla Maharaj and others, they were serving Prabhupada all the time. Directly, personally. I was sometimes personally serving him, and sometimes I was serving him through the service in Mayapur. So one day I was sitting next to him. He lifted up his arm, and his arm was very emaciated, and to see skin and bone. This is because I took too many unqualified disciples. So, Prabhupada was saying that his physical decrease in the last months was due to taking unqualified disciples. Disciples who don't follow the principles, they can cause physical suffering to the Guru. All that is done, those who are second initiative, that the effect is more direct. Those who are first initiative, the effect is there, but it's not as direct. It depends on Krishna, how he is going to let the Guru suffer. Guru is responsible. Maybe Krishna, like one time Prabhupada, he cut his finger and he had one drop of blood. Do you understand me? How many don't understand? Anyone doesn't understand? He had one drop of blood. He said, I should have had my head cut off, but instead I lost one drop of blood. So, like that, the Krishna may take from the Guru token suffering, or he may take a big suffering that so we try to analyze our disciples and see that they are qualified, because some checklists that they should complete. So, on one hand, we have to take the responsibility. On the other hand, if we don't take it, then how do we spread the Krishna consciousness, our movement? Some people, we don't take disciples because they don't want the responsibility. And they have to take resident. It's a whole, how Krishna is going to apply the comments of the disciples to the Guru is up to Krishna. So, what I think that's all I can do is analyze the disciple, see that connotation, they are following the principles and the knowledge to follow, and they are recommended by the local counselor and president, and therefore we will give them that the sincere candidates and they want to be initiated, so we give them the same to accept it. But later, if they don't follow or they break the principles, we will have to suffer. On the other hand, there are disciples who are very good, very strong, and so we think that will also benefit from those disciples. And by preaching, by maybe in the end, by attending, we know that Tulsi, puja, etc. We are going to also get free from various sins. So, it recommends that a guru who is not a wide preacher, he did not take any disciples, or sometimes he was preaching hard writing to take more disciples. In the natural instruction, it said basically there's no limit to how many disciples one can make. If one is preaching the message, if you have a certain quality, but so this question, how does the Guru get these results? Like the Guru directly can get the results. And maybe a token. I was talking last night to Swami in an operation. He took off his gallbladder, so he was feeling nauseous and sick. So, the Gurus suffer different ailments. And I heard that Prabhupada also suffered a stroke, and he was in the neck down, he was paralyzed. The guys who massage, he got his faculty left. So, like this, his head was okay. So he was non-stop pinching, even while he was paralyzed from the neck down. Here was still working, so he was preaching to his devotee. This was in 1967. I was in 68, so I didn't see this. But I heard it. Couldn't help but cry. Now that I'm going through that stroke, I can't imagine how he was preaching while being paralyzed and went down. This tremendous determination. The Prabhupada ki jai. The Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
The question is, if a disciple have pending rounds, will it affect a spiritual master cause him to suffer?
If the disciple, as far as I understand, the disciple needs to actually engage in some simple activity for the Guru to suffer. Just having pending rounds doesn't necessarily cause the Guru to suffer, but obviously if one neglects the rounds for a long time, eventually the desire to commit material activity increase more and more. It's a chanting that helps to keep this desires under control. So it's a matter of time. We neglect our rounds, neglect, pretty soon the material desires are going to increase. So we should try to chant our rounds. If you have to carry a little left, chant them the next day or as quickly as possible. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
How many people are watching on the internet? Internet working? Huh? It's not working. Why? Any other questions? No ladies have questions. If anyone, you don't have a piece of paper, you can just raise your hand and ask a question. Or if you want to write and ask Tamil or some other language, you can do that. I'm sure there's some here who translated. So Hare Kṛṣṇa, no one else has that question. That will go. We have the problem in life where so many people have questions, but we all have English. We couldn't answer them in it's going to be real easy. Nobody has any questions. So I don't need to go here very often. In order to somebody have more questions. If the disciple has realized his mistake or he be forgiven them by Guru and Krishna. Realization of the mistake is the first step, and for forgiveness, second step. Third step, not repeating the mistake again, is time to make amends for one's mistakes. A mistake. I would forgive the disciple, but Krishna was a little tough. I think he wanted to see that what the disciple is doing to participate, to rectify himself or herself. We know that Krishna says, it's very difficult to cross over the material nature. She's the divine energy of Krishna. But those who surrender to Krishna, he promises to cross them over the Maya. So if you surrender to Krishna, if you try to carry out Krishna's instruction, even if sometimes we make a mistake, as I told you, I think, previously, that once Prabhupada Malaysia said, we should be 100% Krishna conscious. This was in 1968 in Montreal. And I wrote 10% Krishna conscious. And 100% is like, wow. What is it, 99%, you know? Finished. So people are in extreme anxiety. And even 90%, the read the minds of the audience, even 90% believe Krishna please. So 90, well, they feel a little rude, but 90, how many you got 90 on your high school exams? I was one of the portion of your 93, so I got offered a scholarship from the top of the universities. It's hard to get above 90. So, lawyers would, person that decided to leave at 90 and then thought about it. And he thought, well, 90 is also pretty tough. And how about he was getting down his asana, attend the asana, so he didn't really know how to build a lady asana. He built it high up, stairway leading down. He was going down the stairway. He turned to the Lord and said, "You got 80%, there's no taking." But then I saw something about 80%, that's so tough. And 80% in India, like class is 40%. And 80%, I think, about 80 or 70 is considered first division. They have a different system. In America, it's like 90, above is first class, and 86, 92 is D, and C is like around 80, and D is around 70, and the low 60, top F. I don't know what the system is in Malaysia, but in other countries it's a little bit different. But anyway, 80%. So that was still pretty high. So I was thinking what to do maybe. Father started walking away. Turned back and go, even 70%, Krishna will still take you. That's the lowest problem on that night. Apart from this verse, or somehow or other, if the 1%, the being of Krishna at the time of death, Caitanya, he wasn't Krishna conscious at all, except he named his child Narayana. So he would call his child, Hey Narayana, Hey Narayana, Hey Narayana. So in this way, although he was a dead body, he was a criminal, he was a sinner, number one. Somehow he chanted the name of Narayana at the time of death. He was saved by the wish of goodness. So, 70% means guaranteed. Of course, you should get 70 or 80 or 90, you should try for 100. And maybe you'll only get 75. Okay, but still, Krishna will even he is lower, but there's no guarantee on that. Maybe if we're lucky, with Krishna, Kaina, so. Honor Krishna. Okay, that's all I do.
Does the devotee necessarily need to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa at the point of death to go back to Krishna? What happens to seriously practicing devotees who leave the body in a coma or other similar physical state? Do they go back to Krishna as well?
As Krishna said, Bhakta Pranashati, my devotee that never perishes. That Krishna helps his devotee. So therefore the devotee will be helped even if he's in a coma, even if he's not able to chant at that moment. He gets the help of Krishna. Next question.
How does one remain enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness in the midst of suffering? How does one remain enthusiastic in Krishna consciousness in the midst of suffering?
We think that I actually deserve much worse, and this is Krishna's only given me a token of what I really deserve. So I guess we can be enthusiastic. And Krishna is very merciful. That's one of the ways we remain enthusiastic. My answer short is a little bit.
How important cooperation among devotees towards one's spiritual development? How important cooperation among devotees towards one's spiritual development?
Well, Śrīla Prabhupāda was asked if we feel indemnity, if we feel that we owe you something, we're grateful for what you've given us. How can we express it? How can we show it? So, one of the ways he said is how well, we cooperate together. Communication is the key of cooperation. So, if you want to show the Guru or Śrīla Prabhupāda that we are appreciating what he's given us, then he said the way you can do that is by your cooperation. How important is that? Do you think that's important? Do you think that is important?
Yes.
No. Also, you see in the history of the Chetas, said that they cooperated together. So as a result, our Lord Caitanya appeared to them, and he said, because you brothers are cooperating with each other, that's why I appeared to you. So our Krishna understands that cooperating is not easy. Obviously, in this material world, there's egos, interests, personality, so many things that stand in the way of cooperating. So if you're able to cooperate, this shows to Krishna that we care about him more than we care about our own limited material interests. See, the reason why we cooperate. There's so many material reasons why not to cooperate. But if we put those in the lower position, and we put our pleasing Krishna, pleasing the Guru in the higher position, then we're going to cooperate. So, Krishna appreciates when we cooperate. He definitely understands that we're making a sacrifice to cooperate. So I want to thank all of you for cooperating together, especially after the lives of Lord Caitanya, or missing his association, his enthusiasm. It's going to require all of you to cooperate with the new leadership, and some leaders are already leaders before, but under Uttama Sloka, so now without Uttama, physically there, spiritually overlooking, but he's not physically there. So we hope that everyone will cooperate, and this way, certainly our Guru Krishna will be very pleased with you. Thank you very much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare
Hare Hare.
So I'm taking some therapies here in Malaysia. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy and some physiotherapy and some occupational therapy. And in between we have a few other therapies, but these are the main ones right now. And I've been asked to consider making Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia as my base. We're going therapy, and I understand. I didn't tell me yet. So that's we found one place which is a stroke rehabilitation center, which seems to be quite good. But I will see how good it is. I just visited there today to for the first time, and it seems quite good. It's got a elaborate setup, and they gave me some. They said that basically I have the strength, but many different experts said I have strength, I lack coordination and balance. So apparently they ordered a special machine from the United States which helps one relax balance. So taking all these in consideration, you'll see the possibility of making this as a headquarters, but as a basis that while I'm recuperating. Of course, once I'm recuperated, I'll have to travel a little more extensively. But anyway, that's what I'm doing now until about the 6th of this next month, where I'll go back to India for the GBC meetings, and then once there I'll be there in Hyderabad, and then right now my plan is to come back here and continue the therapies here. I'll maybe go to America for about 2 days and then come back here. Anyway, that's the basic idea right now. So, while I'm here, for a few days in the week, I come to the temple, as far as I know. And a couple of days I give class over at that DJ. And then some days I may go and give class at different online centers or something. I'm not sure, they didn't tell me, I know they decided. One of the days coming up is initiations, and that's all I know right now. I want to thank all of you for attending. I hope that you were able to understand.
Yes.
If not, I can help someone repeat it. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you for watching our videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.